movies for black girl nerds.
Erin, thank you for your time today. The series was very beautifully shot and still very soul stirring and affected me greatly over the course of the many episodes. Your character Caesar seems to have a kind of like a healthy balance between masculinity and deep emotional substance. And he has those things in tandem in a time where both are being stripped away from him. Is that a fair assessment of your character, or how would you describe him?
Yeah, I think, for me, Caesar is a character who he has a great emotional intelligence and he has a great awareness of self. Um, and those are traits that I admired greatly, when approaching the character and still do admire. Um, I think Caesar is a complex character. I think although he has a stillness, I think things can coexist. And I think there is oftentimes turmoil in his mind and in his heart, especially because he has seen a glimpse of what it is to be truly free and knows that that is his human right and everyone's human right. And I think that is his, ultimately one of his main motivations for escaping Georgia.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that struck me about him, it was the burden of intelligence. Sometimes it's knowing something is wrong and not being able to act. And then there's people who accept things and just kind of fall in like rank and file with that. Is that a heavier yoke to carry, do you think, to know something is greater and not be able to reach it than to not know it all?
That's a really great question. And there's a saying that I never understood as a kid that I've only started to begin to understand now, which is ignorance is bliss. I never understood what that meant. And I always, and recently I've understood that what it's saying is sometimes it's easier to not know. And I think in Caesar's case, he knows, and he knows a lot. And his daily mental battle and spiritual battle is knowing that, and then having to, at the same time, accept his reality. And I think Caesar does a tremendous job of balancing those conflicting things as best he can until the moment when he does get to escape and pursue that thing that he knows is right.
And lastly, the rigors of a performance like this are not just physical, but emotional. And living in this kind of character, sometimes you have to live in it. Some live in it, some have to unwind during the day. What is the unplugging process like for this role? Or is it different from anything you've ever portrayed before? Is it more intense because of what the content is? And what does it take to unfold yourself from existing in that space during filming?
I think, wow, these are really insightful questions. I think for me, it was really important on this to ensure that my mental well-being was in a good space and my spiritual well-being was in a good space, because you're dealing with subject matters which are not trivial. You're dealing with subject matters which are extremely sensitive and are experiences that people really endured. And that is a lot to process for anybody. So, I did my best to ensure that my well-being was in check. And I have to give thanks to Barry, because he ensured that we had such a supportive and safe environment and ensured that we had a guidance counselor on set at all times. And I think irrespective of whether you utilize that service or not, it's just sometimes nice to know that that service is available if and when you need it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you, Aaron, for your time. Wonderful performance. Appreciate speaking with you, and
Thank
enjoy the
you.
rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.